Hello, I'm Alan Holtham. I'm going to show you some unique power tools from the Mafell range. Mafell have been producing power tools in southern Germany for well over 100 years, and they're now a market leader in the manufacture of carpentry machines. 85% of the components are manufactured in-house, and only the finest quality raw materials are used. Over their long history, they've always maintained close contact with end users, and this has allowed them to develop machines with unique features that help you to work more efficiently. For example, the new Cuprex motors. These provide enormous torque and constant speed even under heavy load. They're also lighter and more compact than conventional motors, making them less tiring to use. There are lots of other exceptional features on these tools, so let's take a closer look. If you've used a jigsaw, you'll know they can often be very frustrating tools to use. For a start, it's difficult to make straight and precise cuts, and curves are another tricky area as well. The cut will often end up at a distinct angle. The P1cc machine from Mafell has been specifically designed to overcome all the problems of a conventional jigsaw. The powerful 900 watt Cuprex motor delivers constant speed and torque no matter what the material you're cutting. There's a variable speed facility that allows you to vary the stroke rate to suit the material being worked. Now, most of the difficulties of a conventional jigsaw occur with the guide system. If you look closely at this machine, you can see it doesn't have the conventional system. So how does it work? Mafell have invented a completely new blade clamping system. With its unique wedging action, the Cuprex blade clamping system grips the blade really securely with no chance of any side-to-side movement. Conventional systems rely on side pressure guides. These rub on the blade and will overheat it and reduce the life considerably. We don't have any side pressure guides on this machine. There's also no rear roller. Rear rollers rely on the back of the blade being machined at exactly 90 degrees. Very few blades are machined to this accuracy. As soon as they rest against the roller, the cut will go off at an angle. This blade is held so securely there is no need for that rear roller. Although there is no rear roller, we do still need the pendulum action. Mafell have taken that away from the blade and built it within the main body of the saw itself, which gives much more reliable performance. There's a selector here that allows us to vary the amount of orbit on the saw blade. And the real advantage of this system is that it doesn't start operating until you actually touch the blade onto the material, so there's no danger of scratching the material when you first start off the cut. Another benefit of this quick change blade system is that the blade stays in place until you're actually ready to remove it. And also now, because we don't have that rear roller, we can take the blade out, turn it round, lock it back in place, and now we can work from the underside of the material using the full support from the length of the base plate. This is great for cutting out small notches on the corner of your work. So let's have a close look now at the base plate itself. One of the key features on a jigsaw is the quality of the base plate, and you can see on this Mafell jigsaw the base plate is really wide, which ensures stability and makes sure also that we end up with a perfect 90-degree cut. The base plate itself is a heavy, substantial die casting which has been accurately machined, so you can use it either up against the guide system or against the side of your hand. And underneath there's an integrated non-scratch surface as well. This lever here allows me to vary the position of the base plate relative to the blade, so I can slide it right the way forward and now cut right up to an edge. You can also remove the base entirely. Just slacken off the lever, pull it back, and the two halves will separate, and now you can see the precision of the machining work on this machine. This is what ensures that 100% total accuracy with a 90-degree cut. Now, demands on a jigsaw when you're cutting an angle compared with cutting straight are totally different. Most jigsaws incorporate a swivel base adjustment so you can cut at an angle. Mafell have recognised that demands are different, and rather than compromise the machine, have set it up with two separate bases. We have this high precision 90-degree base, which is relatively narrow and also allows us to get the machine close to the work, so we've got a low centre of gravity, which again aids accurate cutting. But for angles, there's a separate tilting base plate. The saw unit sits in exactly the same way and locks with a lever on the side. And now we can select any angle up to a maximum of 45 degrees of tilt. But look now, even when I tilt it to 45 degrees, with this really wide base plate, the saw doesn't topple over, and we can get really accurate cuts. There's an indent position at 22.5 degrees. Also, I can remove the base and turn it round to get precisely the same angle from the other side. So we've seen all the innovations Mafell have made to allow you to cut accurately with a standard blade. However, they've gone one step further and developed a whole new blade. This is a Q-Nex blade. It's effectively two blades joined together. It's really strong and really rigid. If you look at the profile, you can see it's tapered. It's wider at the cutting edge than it is at the back. This allows you to cut straight and curves really accurately. You can see the strength of the blade goes right up into the tang. Because of the form of this blade, you can use it to cut really accurately with the Mafell track system. So let's have a look at that now. The Mafell track system has a tongue machined along the length, and there's a matching groove in the base of the jigsaw. You can use the two together like that, but you can see it's not fully supported. However, the jigsaw comes with a glider, and this just snaps into position on the base of the jigsaw, and now you can see when I make my straight cut, it's fully supported and going to be very much more accurate. You can use the parallel guide along with the track. You can see the parallel guide is flush to the base of the jigsaw, and you can use this in one of three ways. Again, put it over the tongue of the track and provide support by holding down the parallel guide. You can fit the parallel guide over the tongue on the track and cut in the same way, again with total support. Or you can use it with the base plate sitting directly on the work. To cut a parallel strip off the side of your workpiece, you again need the parallel guide. Just flip this open, lock it in position, slide it into the side of the saw, set the width you require, lock it up, and now make your cut. To cut a perfect circle where the edges are vertical and the cut meets perfectly, you can again use the parallel guide. If I slide that out, you can see there are two pivot points contained within it. To use the 8mm one, push it into position on the parallel guide. We now need to drill an 8mm hole in the middle of the workpiece and also an 8mm hole to start the cut off. Slide the guide into position, drop the pin into the hole, adjust the width you want, lock it up tight, and now you can make your cut. The P1cc features a very clever dust extraction system integrated into the base of the tool. On most jigsaws, there's just a simple blower that pushes the sawdust forward. On this machine, air is generated within the motor itself, is channeled through the base and across the face of the blade into this dust extraction port and then down the length of the base inside. So you can use the machine connected to a dust extractor using this connector, which just slots into the base. However, because the extraction is so efficient, you can use it without that connection. In which case you can use a simple chip deflector to prevent the sawdust being blown back up against you. And that just slots in position like that. However, if you want to use the machine upside down, the sawdust is now being blown up into your face. So take out the chip deflector, turn it over, slot it back in place, and now you can work without the sawdust being blown back up at you. As you'd expect, there's an anti-splinter shoe for tear-free cuts on veneered surfaces, and this just slips into position and presses home. The unique feature about this one though, it has a very slight radius, so there's positive pressure right up against the blade to ensure that chip-free surface. There's also a sighting line printed on the anti-splinter shoe to help you line up the cut. The P1cc comes with a Mafell Max carrying case, so you can keep all the accessories together. There's a place for everything. The parallel guide, the glider, the dust extraction connector and deflector, the box of blades, even a compartment for any small loose items. And there's even space for the optional tilting base. Machine fits in as well, and there's room for the cable. Everything in its place, no matter where you're working. So that's the P1cc, a truly amazing jigsaw with a range of fantastic features. That was just one of the unique tools from Mafell. For more information, contact your nearest dealer or log on to the website. Mafell, built by professionals for professionals.